Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to do something a little bit different, something close to my heart. I know I've shared my passion for parapsychology and helping others create online courses and membership sites, but I thought it was time to let you get to know me on a deeper level. So this video is about connecting, sharing my story, and showing you a softer, more personal side of who I am, beyond the entrepreneur, the mom, the professional. So we'll explore a little bit of my journey, the challenges I've faced, and the passions that light up my everyday. Through this, I hope you'll see that I'm just like you, a dreamer, a doer, and I'm always striving to grow. So grab a cozy drink, settle in, and let's dive into the conversation. I'll be answering some personal questions to give you a glimpse of my life, my heart, and my journey. So let's get started. Question number 1. What was your childhood like, and what were some of your earliest dreams or passions? My earliest dream was of becoming a veterinarian. I was very much an animal lover growing up. I loved music, much like my father. Any music I could get my hands on, I have always loved. I played the viola, the flute. I was in chorus and in the church choir and all kinds of different activities. And I had an obsession with horses, just like many other young girls. I really loved animals. So that was what I thought I was going to do. And then when I hit 10th grade, we had the opportunity to have a psychology class. And my perspective changed entirely because I have always been deeply intrigued with what makes people tick and what motivates them, why they do what they do. And not only can I learn about myself through psychology, I can also learn about others, of course. When I went off to college, I studied psychology, sociology, and criminal justice, and a lot of other things that I had not been exposed to in my childhood. Question number 2. Can you share a bit about your time in the military and how it shaped you as a person? I had 3 years of college before I went into the military in order to support myself and continue my education because I still had 1 year left to get my bachelor's degree. I joined the Air Force and I became a logistics planner, and it was up my alley because I am pretty anal retentive and I'm very organized, and anything with time management and organization is something that's very natural to me. And also controlling everything, also something that I've always done. Referring back to my childhood, I am the oldest of my siblings and the only girl. So I started out very early babysitting siblings, cousins, neighbor kids. So I was always very accustomed to taking charge and making sure things got done when I was given a task to do. And joining the military was a very easy transition, much easier than I thought it would be. You come across people from all walks of life. You learn to work with everyone. No obstacle is too big, no challenge too difficult. You just get the job done. That was a really meaningful experience for me. I was only in for about 3 years. That wasn't in too long. And I got out when I had my daughter, but I will always value the time that I did have in the military. Question number 3. What inspired your interest in parapsychology and the spiritual realm? For me, this is a very natural thing. Spirituality has always been deeply ingrained in me. It is in all of us, but depending on our childhood and our upbringing and what we're exposed to, some of us just become more distant from our spiritual and authentic self. In my opinion, parapsychology to me, just like I put on my website, is the point where quantum physics and spirituality collide. And that's what fascinates me, because it's not an issue of whether these things exist per the label of a limited science that we have as human beings. There's so much that we don't know in the world, and spirituality is much larger than science. And the two work hand in hand, and you cannot have one without the other. And I have experienced almost every area of parapsychology. If you look at the list that's on my website between the clairs, clairsentience, clairaudience, clairvoyance, all of those things. I've experienced those apparitions, other beings. I've experienced those as well. There's so many things that I don't or didn't as a child fully understand that I am just now open to learning, to being on this journey to not only discover these things for myself, but to help people around the world become more aligned with their authentic self and to be able to express that openly in a safe environment where people aren't going to put them down or degrade their work or try to humiliate them just because there isn't a label for something. So it's something that motivates me. It's something that I will work on for the rest of my life, or I have the intention of working on for the rest of my life. And I hope that the things that I am inspired by also help others reach their potential and help the world heal. Next, when did you realize you wanted to start your own business, and what inspired the idea of helping others build online courses and membership sites? For me, this was personal because I felt empty after achieving multiple degrees and a good paying job and being a parent and doing all of the things, yet I didn't feel in alignment with my authentic self. I feel that in my day job, because I do work for the federal government, that is, of course, very practical, logical, day-to-day work, and it is an amazing mission per the agency, but that does not allow me to embrace my spirituality or healing or any growth emotionally. So I had to branch out. And for me, in 2015, I came across an online presentation from Russell Brunson, and he was telling us that you may not know what you want to sell or teach or share with the world, but think of yourself 5 years ago, and what did you need help with? What were you interested in? Who were you looking for answers? Who failed you? What systems failed you? Figure out what you've already overcome and help yourself 5 years ago. Now we're years later, and I've made my own online course and membership site and business, and because I've already found my path and I intend to work on that forever, I want to be able to help other people, my ideal clients, do the same thing. My soul tribe are those who are spiritual, who are healers, who are interested in parapsychology and different aspects of it, whether they know what the term parapsychology means or not. I feel like leaving out spirituality, keeping it separate from science instead of combining the two, is a mistake, and I think it prevents us from evolving as a species. So for me, I not only want to teach other people in the spiritual community and the community of parapsychology how to create their own courses and membership sites and how to teach other people these courses and gifts that people have really allow people to heal, and it helps the world heal. And that is my overall goal and mission, no matter how big or small that may end up being by the time I die. We could all go tomorrow. Whatever impact I end up having will be what it is. But I hope to raise the vibration of the earth. I hope to help people heal any hurt or trauma from any incarnation they've ever had. And I really want to give other people the opportunity to experience financial freedom, passive income, things that a day job does not provide. What motivated you to start your YouTube channel, and what do you hope your audience gains from it? So I started the YouTube channel to get over my fear of visibility, several years ago when I started my online businesses, trying to hone my niche and my message and my audience, my ideal clients, I was absolutely terrified of putting myself out there, and I still am. Even answering these questions is very uncomfortable for me because though I'm very comfortable with information and data and researching and doing all of those things, talking about myself is, for many of us, very uncomfortable when it's being done on screen and your audience can see you, but you don't see them. For me, the YouTube channel is a part of my overall business strategy. So all of my other social media platforms now drive back to YouTube because this is the one place where I want people to be able to focus and see me and get to know me in a community. And I hope that the audience is able to see that this is a very safe space to talk about the taboo topics that parapsychology entails. When you're talking about apparitions and hauntings, when you're talking about the clairs, when you're talking about, non-human intelligence, when you're faced with all of these things in the media, because of all the propaganda that was put out over decades, and all of our elders who were mocked or humiliated for even discussing these topics, we are now in an era where we can speak about all of these things openly, and it's much more accepted. Let's put it that way. Most people are open to at least having the conversation, whether they have experienced any aspects of parapsychology on their own. They may or may not have gone through that, but the majority of people have in one way or another. They may not have known it. If you have an innate knowing about something, you're experiencing one of the clairs. It's very simple. Even just aligning with being in the moment and your intuition and your purpose and who you are and being your best self, all of that is encompassed by spirituality and parapsychology. So for me, I hope that the audience gains insight into the different aspects of parapsychology, and I really do hope that people start to reach out and share their experiences. I want to be able to share people's stories about their childhood or adult experiences. It doesn't matter. I want you to be able to reach out and share your research. I'm in a lot of different groups now for parapsychology, so I can extend my network and meet people, and we can all grow together. But ultimately, I want people to be able to educate themselves. Whether you believe in any of these things or not is up to you. Free world, free thought, all of that. But I hope you have an open mind. I hope you have a willingness to join the conversation in a positive manner. And I hope that you feel this is a safe space. What are some of the biggest obstacles you faced as a single parent and entrepreneur? I'd have to say, because I don't have any family or friends that have ever lived nearby, and I've been a single parent since my daughter was 1, I have to say time management, organization, balance, always being present for my daughter's activities, making sure that she knows she is the priority over all else. And I think those are all the main ones. It's ultimately just balancing everything has been the biggest challenge. How have you balanced working for the federal government, running a business, and raising your daughter? Ooh, that has come with time. I am very much a neat freak. I am retentive and not crazy OCD, but definitely I appreciate a clean environment. I like things being well organized. I like having an order to things and structure. So I very much do my very best to create an environment of stability, security, and structure all around. So how did I balance that over the years? I am very much a list maker, and I have a calendar for everything. And I have multiple calendars in multiple places that all align. I think my calendar at work aligns with my calendar at home. I have food meal lists on the refrigerator for the next week of meals that we'll have for dinner. I have everything in its place, and that is the way I like it. So that's how I have balanced everything for she and I for all these years. Next question, what's a moment of failure or doubt you've experienced, and how did you overcome it? My goodness, if you're an entrepreneur and you haven't failed, you're not an entrepreneur. I don't think you can live and not fail. Honest to God, I've had so many mistakes and failures in my life, and I don't see any of them as negative. I've had 2 divorces, a young girl. In my early 20s, I had a bankruptcy a few years ago because I left the military and the government to pursue real estate investing. And even after I closed on 4 properties on my own with no team, it just wasn't enough to sustain our lifestyle, my daughter and I, in the DMV. If you're not from around here in the Washington, D.C. area, the DMV stands for D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. So if you're in this area, you know that it is a high cost of living, like any other metropolitan city in the world. So yeah, definitely those things stand out to me as being the largest failures I've had, but they were also really big learning experiences, and they taught me my value, and it taught me resilience, and gosh, I am a lot tougher than I look. I will tell you that. How did I overcome these things? I don't know that they're things you overcome. It's just how you respond to them. You get to choose who you want to be every day. I am keenly aware of that. So every morning when I wake up, I want to be my best self. I want to do the best at my day job. I want to do the best for my country. I want to do the best for my daughter. I want to be my best self for me. There's never a day when I'm just not trying. It's natural for me to fail in that process because I'm trying to learn things that I've never done before, especially with entrepreneurship and being a business owner, and learning how to do ads and marketing and social media and interviewing and all the things. So I'm proud of myself for where I'm at, and I know that I will have tremendous growth moving forward, and it's made me who I am, so I don't regret any of it. Next question, who or what has been your greatest support system through your journey, and how has it shaped your life? That is a very good question. It's funny when you become an entrepreneur or you leave home to join the military, go off to college, or pursue your dreams somewhere, you will often find out that the people who you always assume as a child should have your back and should be there for you are exactly the people who are just not there for you and who are not your biggest fans. So I would have to say that the people who have been my greatest support system and network in the last 2 decades of my life have been a small handful of close friends and coworkers. I've been at the agency I'm at now since 2009, so they raised me in a professional sense, in addition to teaching me what it was like how I should value myself. They taught me how to see my value, all of them. And that's something that has made me who I am today. That lesson alone from people who have either put me down or talked behind my back or been unsupportive, or on the other side, been there for me in my darkest hour. Both types of people have made me who I am. What's a lesson or piece of advice that profoundly changed your perspective? The lesson or advice was not given to me verbally. It was received by watching someone else's actions. I learned a lot from this individual, somebody I worked with for a long time. This individual, a very high-ranking, very kind soul. He was always looking out for people, never asking for things in return. He was very much a wonderful leader, quiet, always had poise, very knowledgeable, so incredibly competent at what he was doing. And he used to joke and say, hey, a monkey could do this job. But no, not just anybody could do his job. And I always, to this day, I appreciate his kindness. And it taught me that as a leader, the most important traits that you need to have are being able to listen to people, being able to appreciate a work-life balance, and understanding that people have lives outside of their day job. Whether it's their passion or not, they still have lives outside of work, and that gets carried to and from the office, mostly unseen, but there are times when you really need to check in with your folks. And he was somebody who was really good, had a lot of emotional intelligence, and his natural kindness just made him a wonderful leader. And the lessons that I learned, as I said, were just from observation, in addition to pieces of advice that were given to me over the years. But the most profound changes he made in people's lives were just by being him. And I try to do the same thing when I interact with people anywhere and everywhere, at work, on the street, out of the store. I know that I just have to be myself. And that's what I have struggled with most, I think, on camera, because I am always concerned about all of the little details. I'm not the best at speaking or any one particular thing. I am very much a jack of all trades, and I appreciate that about myself. But I'm always willing to learn and grow. As I said, the lessons that I have received that stuck with me the most are by watching other people who are very high caliber, that I had the honor of being in their presence for an extended period of time. And now that I am in more of a leadership role, then I get to be that person. And because I've had such good examples of who I should and should not be, all of it a choice, obviously, I feel that I can always put my best foot forward. How has your relationship with your daughter influenced your approach to life and work? As I mentioned earlier, it's just been the two of us since she was one. For me, a balance between work and life was always a necessity. There wasn't really much choice to whether I could have that or not, because I was the only one there to do everything. As every single parent knows, you don't necessarily have family or friends around. You don't necessarily have, I don't know, some people use nannies or sitters or other people for help, but it's always been just me. That made my daughter and I very close over the years. She goes off to college next year. It's been a journey, I'll just say that. But my relationship with her has always come first and foremost above everything, above work, above any task that may come up for business. I definitely go out of my way to balance every single thing, because I am I'm just made that way. But I didn't really have a choice. It was just how things happened. I had to be at home to do cooking, cleaning, and running a house, and I had to be at work to pay the bills. So being the protector, provider, and the caregiver, it has its pros and its cons, but it's been a blessing overall. Can you describe a moment in your life when you felt the most proud of yourself? Honestly, I think I'm only reaching that experience and feeling now in my life at 42. My daughter's going to college in a year. I have multiple degrees. I served in the military. I work for the federal government. I'm running my own business on the side. I'm putting myself out there on social media and trying to grow a business. For me, that makes me proud. It makes me proud that my daughter has a good home life, that we have balance and quiet and peace. I appreciate that I can see in her balance and the way she approaches life. I'm proud as a parent. I'm proud of my country. I'm proud of my agency because I work with such high caliber people. And I'm really proud of what I'm making with this business. I think it's going to go far and grow quite a bit over the years. And I'm really looking forward to watching all of that happen. What's one thing you hope your audience takes away from your content on YouTube? Overall, I want you to know that I am trustworthy. I hope you see that I am at least somewhat competent, that I'm really trying to balance science with spirituality, that I'm trying to make a safe space for people to converse and grow together. I hope that the content itself will eventually inspire you. I know that this is only my 17th video. I've only been doing this for 3-4 months now. So it's not a long period of time to have been doing this, unlike many others who have been doing it for years. But everybody has to start somewhere. I'm not the best speaker. I'm not the best at writing up scripts. I'm not the best at marketing or ads or social media or any of the things. But I am trying, and it will get better with time. And so I just ask for your patience as I grow, and help me out. Tell me what you want to hear more of, or what you would like me to research. Get involved in the conversation. Be mature. Put yourself out there. If you have things to add, please put comments below the videos. Share what you know. If you have better resources or information or people who want to be interviewed, tell me about it. I'm here. I'm open. I am, as I said earlier, far from perfect. I make mistakes all the time, but I'm trying, and I hope that shows through the most. What's one thing you've learned about yourself that you want to share with others? I've learned a lot over the years, but I guess in one very simple, basic, hopefully not too cliche way of putting it, I've just learned that I'm resilient. No matter what people throw at me or happens in life, I take it all lessons as fun challenges, as things that will help me to grow and be my best self. What do you hope to achieve through your YouTube channel and the business in the next 5 years? I have mapped out the next 3 years, and I'm going to keep most of that close hold, only because as an entrepreneur, there's a lot of naysayers or people who try to get in your way or put you down or prevent you from reaching your goals. And I want to make sure that I allow everything to blossom fully. And I have a really great team around me. I have my power pack. I have my mastermind people to help grow the business, and they grow their businesses. We've got really great teamwork. So I'm looking forward to everything, but I will share my details and show you as I go instead of just talking about it. If you could leave one legacy for your daughter and your audience, what would it be? I think the biggest thing I want to accomplish with this is to be able to reach a global audience eventually over time. I know it starts that way anyway, just because of the nature of social media. But I want the discussion about parapsychology and things that are unseen with the human eye and emotional intelligence and quantum physics and quantum mechanics to be discussed more in depth and in a way that allows an ebb and flow between science and spirituality, in a way that enables them to work together as they naturally do, and for us to acknowledge that they are one and the same and that we should not be separating them. Overall, I hope that the content will eventually inspire you, even if it's just to join the conversation and give your thoughts and opinions and research or your own experiences with different aspects of parapsychology. Just having people come to the table in an adult manner and not be afraid to talk about everything that they've gone through would be a wonderful place to be. So I tried to work toward that future. Okay, we have 3 other questions from you guys. So you had, what's your go-to comfort food or cozy activity when you're relaxing at home? I can always go for fruit, but as for comfort food, I like Turkey Hill mint ice cream, the natural kind. I like mint ice cream. Cozy activity, I'm just like anybody else. I like a good movie or show on Netflix, or listening to an audiobook or a podcast. I listen to a lot of podcasts. Yeah, working on my business is my fun activity. I'm weird, I know, it's okay. Next question. If you could spend a day with anyone, past or present, who would it be and why? If I could spend a day with anyone, I would choose Da Vinci. There were so many inventions and amazing ways of thought, and he just fascinates me. So I think that I would just have so many questions to ask. Last, what's a hidden talent or quirky fact about you that most people don't know? Let's see. I've been skydiving. I took a tactical weapons class and an evasive driving class, and I did all of them just for fun. And I learned them all. So there you are. I appreciate you all asking me such thought-provoking questions and giving me these submissions. Thank you for spending this time with me and letting me share a little bit of my story with you. I hope you feel like you got to know me a little bit better beyond the entrepreneur, the mom, and the parapsychology enthusiast. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Your support does mean the world to me, and it helps me to continue creating content that inspires, informs, and connects us. And if you're someone with an entrepreneurial heart, dreaming of creating your own online course or coaching program, but feel unsure of how to price your services, don't worry, I've got you covered. Head over to the link in the description box below and grab your free pricing guide. It's packed with helpful insights to get you started on the right foot. Thank you all again for being here. I can't wait to see you in the next video, where we'll dive even deeper into this amazing journey together. Until then, take care and stay inspired.